Welcome back to Illini Bears Talk. And
Tough week.
it's not a tough week. I literally have no words for what I watched yesterday. In fact, I sat sitting on my couch for like literally 45 minutes. I didn't say a word. After the Bears lost on a Hail Mary thrown by Jayden Daniels, tipped by Tyreek Stevenson, the one of the toughest losses I've ever witnessed as a Bears fan, but Sam, where does this rank all time in the Bears' losses that you've watched?
Whew, that's tough. Um, Honestly, this is probably second because the worst one, in my opinion, was the Browns game last year. That was tough because Darnell Mooney should have caught it, and we would have probably kept the incumbent QB is what I wanted from that game. But obviously, I mean the game's behind us. We'll make this a quick episode. You guys don't even want to hear us talk, but basically, I just think I'm not the most pissed off from this loss. I do think it's a ball don't lie type of thing. We didn't play good at all, so that's why I didn't sting as much. Like if this was against the Packers, oh my god, I'd be like in shambles. But just because it's against the Commanders and like we had 0 points until 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, so it wasn't like we were dominating them and the world was watching and Caleb Williams is him and all this amazing. Nah, our defense couldn't pass block from our offensive line couldn't pass block for more than like 2.3 seconds. He had the highest time to pressure out of all QBs that played week 8. And it's also pressured on 52% of his snaps, which was also the most out of any QB. So it just makes it very hard, very hard. I think it should have just been from the rip, just I mean, I can't blame Waldron, but I just like when it's in my opinion, it's all the O line's fault. Genuinely, I feel like Kill played pretty lackluster up until the fourth quarter. He was turning it on. I definitely think he missed a few throws. That's given, but it's like what we saw with our old quarterback. He had zero time to throw the ball, just instantly pressured. What do you think?
All right, first, in terms of where I rank this loss, um, I put it so this is definitely the most shocked I've ever been. Like, because I witnessed the double doink in front of my very eyes. I was at that game. I was actually on that side of the field where Cody Parkey missed. But you could sense the nervousness in the stadium when he was about to kick it. And like there was definitely a feeling, just given how he had performed throughout the season, that he could have missed the kick. Like this felt like a way the Bears season could end. But this game, the way it just ended, it's so unexpected to give up a Hail Mary like that. And for Tyreek Stevenson to do what he did and all that, it's just shocking. It's so massive. My one thought after the game, if you really care about the season, is that this might be the difference between the Bears being a playoff team and not being a playoff team. I'm 100% going to look back at that moment and be like, yep, that's why the Bears missed the playoffs, because Tyreek Stevenson was too busy having fun with the fans and was not boxing out Noah Brown on a very standard Hail Mary play. And I don't even want to get started on what Matt Eberflus was thinking. I'm not like the Hail Mary is one
Oh,
thing.
bro, I thought Matt Eberflus was a good head
Let's
coach.
all right. Let's talk about
Yeah,
Matt
let's talk
Eberflus.
about
Yeah,
that
he
because
was.
I'm
I was
having a field
gonna
day.
say, good defense. Let the held up the
Elite
Commanders to a
defense. We
point.
did let up above
But
like 450 yards total, which is pretty bad. We
yeah,
did we did gift to Jayden Daniels the ball maybe 150 times that game, so that's definitely one thing. We got a ton of pressures on Jayden Daniels, which is good, but at the end of the day, the play right before the Hail Mary is what separates us from being a good playoff team or even a playoff team to being just the same old Chicago Bears. I cannot believe Matt Eberflus thought that it didn't matter to let him gain what, like 15, 16
15
yards
yards. So it was a
to
15-yard gain.
to get to the 50-yard line. Like, are we serious right now? Dan Quinn said that was literally the game. That was literally the rate determining step. It's the reason why they're able to make this Hail Mary. They're at their own 30-yard line, and then it's just a lateral play. So it's unbelievable that Matt Eberflus could even think that was like, oh, yeah, we're just setting up for the Hail Mary. Also, another thing, Jalen Johnson was on the CHGO pod today, and he was like, I mean, right before the play, we were all like discombobulated. None of us were focusing any of that. We were all hurried. We had 3 timeouts, 3 of them. Why don't we use one before the biggest play of the whole damn
Did nobody look at Tyree Stevenson? Did not one person on the sideline say, yeah, that his back was turned for 5 seconds. The receivers were at the 20-yard line. And nobody on the sideline told Matt Eberflus, look at this dumbass on the field. Look at him. Call the timeout.
I don't know what to say.
And it's inexcusable, you're right, that play before, because there's 6 seconds left and the Commanders have no timeouts. If you just press your corners and guard the sidelines, you are forcing them to get into a lateral, like pitchy woo-woo type situation, whatever they call it. And then the game is over. Nobody scored. There's only one play in recent memory where a team has scored off that lateral, which was the Miami Miracle. You basically win the game by doing that. And then for Matt Eberflus to come in this morning and defend that decision, that's where, okay, you know what? I'm really not on board with this anymore. I will give Matt Eberflus the credit for the defense. 12 points allowed. They're producing in and out each
18.
week. Or 18, yeah, it should have been 12, but 18 points allowed.
I also am wondering, why did they not kick an extra point? Isn't that the rule? I know
they changed. So I remember this. So when the Vikings did the Minneapolis Miracle against the Saints, and then they had this whole mayhem happen, and the game was over. But they forced the Vikings to come back on the field to do the 2-point kneel. They kneeled the ball with on a 2-point conversion to end the game, and that's when they changed the rule that if you score a walk-off touchdown, the game is over. You don't have to kick the extra point.
Oh, I actually never knew that.
Cool. Yeah, but to go back to Matt Eberflus, yeah, he's a good defense, but I mean, these are inexcusable coaching decisions week in and week out. And if now you think about in the last 2 years, those are 4 games with like a 98+% chance of winning, according to whatever metric you want to look at. And those are 4 blown leads. Let me ask you one question, Sam. Let me ask you one question. The Bears sometimes win the games they're supposed to win, and they sometimes lose the games that they're supposed to win, i.e. the Colts a couple weeks ago. A game they're supposed to win, they lose. When do the Bears ever win the games they're not supposed to win, like the one we saw yesterday? When have we ever seen that happen? When do the Bears somehow go on the road, somehow go into a tough environment and win a game like that? That's why I was so happy when we scored that touchdown, and I was ready to celebrate because the Bears finally won a game where they didn't have to dominate possession and outgame their opponent. You know, that's what the great teams in the NFL do. Never happens. Never happens. And it looks like it never will happen because thought the Bears would get away with one. You thought wrong. No win comes easy for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. Just to be clear, though, last year we did beat the Lions, which was a pretty big win at home right after the bye. I'm not talking
about being an underdog. I'm talking about when the Bears arguably played worse than their opponent or, got outgained, things like that.
Week 1, but yeah, I know. I see your gist. I'm not trying to take technicality here, but
yeah. But you get my point.
It all stems back to what I said. I was early. Everyone hated on me. 400,000 people viewed my tweet and called me stupid. Everyone got mad at me because I was early for saying having Matt Eberflus severely impacts our ceiling. And as you can see, it's just boneheaded mistakes. He cannot even identify what he's doing is wrong. And we also forgot to mention, what was TJ Edwards doing on that last play? You want to let me know? QB spy. He was spying the QB. So for any of you viewers out there, for the 20 people watching this, a QB spy is for a quarterback that is good at running. and they spy him. So just in case if he goes off to run, they can stop him. It would be a 56-yard touchdown run with the whole secondary against Jayden Daniels. Why are we spying him? Why don't we have an extra man back there? I don't believe it. And what we also rushed. Did we rush 3? I think we rushed 3.
We rushed 3. TJ Edwards was the spy. And then we sent everybody back. And somehow we had 7 defensive backs, and not one of them boxed out Noah Brown. And it was supposed to be Tyreek Stevenson. Every single defensive back played the ball. Every single one.
That's not even how it's supposed to be either.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have like 1 or 2, and then some stay back for that exact reason. I mean, it's inexcusable. And I love how Matt Eberflus said they've practiced the play a million times. Really seems like you guys have not. Genuinely feels like you guys haven't.
Also, did you see the height difference? The Bears defensive backs who they have in that were like so short.
We should have had Colin Johnson over there. I don't know.
Yeah, you need someone tall like Roma Odunze. Put him in there. He gets the ball. Like he has a really good high point. Cole Kmet. Put someone deep. Put someone with height deep. Zach Ertz is really tall. He's 6'5". Nobody was tall enough to stop him. I mean, you can go on and on about the play and how ridiculously stupid it was. I'll give one silver lining that I took away from this game, and it's that a Bears quarterback led 2 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. If it wasn't for – we didn't even mention this – a ridiculous play call to hand it to your – hand it to your backup center as a fullback
third string
on a goal-to-goal situation, then Caleb Williams would have led 2 game-winning drives. So we don't see that often, but that's one silver lining I'll take from it. But it's such a gut-wrenching loss. I didn't even want to film this episode because it hurts to even talk about it, man.
Super tough. I mean, my silver lining here is it's very tough. I feel like our team. I saw this on Twitter that people were saying we may win 7 or 8 games. We're not winning 7 games. We're obviously going to win more than that. We already have 5 wins. I will delete everything I own. 4 wins. We'll have 5 very soon. I'll delete everything I own if we end up with 7 wins. It's not going to happen. We're going to obviously have a little bit more than 7 wins. And we're going to be in that range where Matt Eberflus gets 1 more year to prove it. It's going to be tough. I don't want us to lose out, but I'll leave you guys with this, basically. We got rid of Justin Fields because he was mediocre. He wasn't bad. He wasn't amazing. We needed an upgrade. And we saw a clear upgrade in Caleb Williams. There is 1,000,000% a clear upgrade on the streets right now. Bill Belichick's a clear upgrade right now, regardless. Get him off ESPN and he'll come right to us. Even then, there'll be a couple coaches fired. There'll definitely be a clear upgrade at head coach, and we should take it. That is where I believe if Poles will be good or Poles will be him, if he can recognize that Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator, but he's not a good head coach. So the damage is done. He can't really turn much around unless we win the Super Bowl, and sure, but even then, it's basically over. He can't do much. He showed to us he cannot close out games. And I tweeted this out that last year, we started off red hot, burned out in the fourth quarter. Now we are stalling in the first half, in all 3 quarters in the last game, and then turning it on the last quarter. Can't be like this. It's a common denominator. It's Matt Eberflus. This is not how it works. I just don't get it. It's very tough. I mean, we'll look forward to next week, I guess. That I have a skincare business against Arizona, so we'll talk about that this week.
Yep, and Matt Eberflus definitely it wasn't hot already. It got a lot hotter for sure. I mean,
and the players were.
I'm a pretty level-headed Bears fan. I don't like to overreact to things, but to see a game end the way it did, and to really only point my finger at one thing, and it's coaching. I can definitively pinpoint a loss on Matt Eberflus this game, it's him because of just those coaching decisions at the end of the game. That's not a coach I can trust. So definitely on the hot seat. Great defensive coordinator though. Fine.
Good DC.
All right. And with that, we'll talk to you guys for the Cardinals preview later this week.
Bears down.